Something explosive is happening in Cleveland, and it's not the kind of fireworks the fans were hoping for. The Dylan Gabriel experiment, the one that head coach Kevin Stefanski has stubbornly defended for weeks, has officially hit the breaking point. After the embarrassing showing in New England and the brutally honest post-game press conference that followed, it's obvious even Stefanski knows the situation has spiraled out of control. The Browns are in full-blown crisis mode, and it feels like the walls are closing in on everyone involved. If you missed the game against the New England Patriots, you missed one of the worst quarterback performances of the entire NFL season. Dylan Gabriel played so poorly it was painful to watch. He looked completely overwhelmed, making bad reads, terrible throws, and decisions that made you question how he even made it to this level. Passes sailed over receivers' heads. Others went straight to linebackers as if he was targeting the wrong team. It wasn't just bad football, it was unwatchable football. Gabriel looked like a player out of his depth, lost in the moment, and incapable of leading a professional offense. Kevin Stefanski, the man who refused to even consider giving Shedeur Sanders a chance, was finally exposed for his stubbornness. The film doesn't lie, the numbers don't lie, and the scoreboard definitely doesn't lie. Stefanski can't defend this mess anymore. His press conference afterward made it clear he's running out of excuses and time. The Browns are 2-6, and no amount of coach speak can hide the fact that this season has been a complete train wreck. The loss to the Patriots wasn't just another defeat, it was domination. The final score was 32-13, but even that doesn't show how one-sided the game truly was. New England controlled every minute from kickoff to the final whistle. Cleveland looked helpless. Dylan Gabriel completed 21 of 35 passes for just 156 yards, most of which came in garbage time when the game was already over. 2 touchdowns and 2 horrendous interceptions summarized the afternoon. One of those picks was so bad the linebacker didn't even have to move. The ball was thrown straight to him. The other was a perfect pass if he were aiming for the defensive back. These weren't flukes. They were glaring examples of a quarterback who doesn't understand the fundamentals. Meanwhile, on the other side, Drake May looked like everything Gabriel wasn't. Calm, confident, efficient. He went 18 for 24 with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. While May was picking apart the Browns' defense, Gabriel was imploding in real time. The contrast between the two young quarterbacks couldn't have been more painful for Cleveland fans. Myles Garrett, however, was the lone bright spot in an otherwise disastrous game. He recorded a jaw-dropping 5 sacks, a performance that would usually define a career. But even his dominance wasn't enough to save the Browns because their offense was that dysfunctional. When your star defender plays like a superhero and you still lose by nearly 20, the problem isn't the defense. It's everything happening on the other side of the ball. By now, there's no debate left. The Browns need to give Shedeur Sanders a real shot. Gabriel has had his chance, and the results are beyond disappointing. It's time to see what the rookie can do. The offense needs life, energy, and leadership, things Gabriel has failed to provide. If Stefanski refuses to make that change, then it's not just a quarterback problem anymore. It's a coaching problem. After the loss, Stefanski faced the media looking like a man who knew his job was slipping away. His opening words were generic, the kind of thing every losing coach says when he's out of answers. He talked about needing to look at everything and do better, but his body language said more than his words. He couldn't make eye contact. He looked defeated. When coaches start saying they'll evaluate everything during the bye week, that usually means they've run out of ideas. When pressed by reporters on what looking at everything really meant, Stefanski gave vague, uncomfortable answers. He tried to deflect responsibility while subtly making excuses for his young quarterback. He mentioned the ups and downs of developing a rookie, but the truth is Gabriel hasn't shown any ups to balance the downs. It's been bad from the start, and it's only getting worse. The questions from reporters became sharper. One asked if Cleveland's wide receiver group was good enough to evaluate the quarterback fairly, hinting that maybe a change at quarterback could alter the results. Stefanski's response was telling. He didn't defend Gabriel. Instead, he said he needed to do a better job and that the team needed improvement. When a coach stops defending his players publicly, it's a sign the faith is gone. Another Reporter went straight for the jugular, asking if Stefanski was doing enough at the quarterback position. His hesitant response, "I think I know the answer is yes," spoke volumes. That wasn't confidence, that was resignation. He all but admitted that something needs to change. Yet when asked directly about Gabriel's play, Stefanski defaulted to generic team effort answers. No specific praise, no signs of belief, just empty words meant to fill time until the question stopped. Every time Stefanski said, "We have to look at everything," it sounded less like a plan and more like a plea. The repetition was almost desperate. Coaches say things like that when they're out of solutions and hoping someone else, maybe the front office, figures it out for them. The most revealing moment came when he mentioned letting the personnel department evaluate things during the bye week. That was a quiet way of saying decisions might soon be taken out of his hands. The statistics make it even uglier. The Browns put up just 213 total yards of offense. That's barely over 200 yards for an entire NFL game. They managed only 68 rushing yards, converted 2 of 11 third downs, and held the ball for just 23 minutes. The Patriots dominated time of possession, running the clock and wearing down Cleveland's defense until there was nothing left. Even though Garrett had a career day, it didn't matter because the offense couldn't stay on the field long enough to capitalize. This wasn't about losing to a superior opponent. The Patriots are solid but far from unbeatable. This was about a team collapsing under its own dysfunction. Gabriel's struggles, Stefanski's stubbornness, and a lack of direction have turned what should have been a competitive season into a disaster. The Drake-May comparison just twists the knife deeper. Two young quarterbacks, both developing, but only one looks ready for the NFL spotlight. May is building confidence and momentum. Gabriel is regressing every week. That contrast, on the same field under the same conditions, exposed the Browns' situation more brutally than any headline could. Now comes the pivotal decision. The bye week is the perfect time for reflection and change. At 2-6, the playoffs are a distant dream. This is when smart organizations start evaluating for the future. It's time to give Shedeur Sanders the keys and see what he can do. Let him play meaningful snaps, learn with the starters, and see if he can provide the spark Gabriel couldn't. Stefanski's job is hanging by a thread. He knows it. His defeated tone, his careful answers, and his constant repetition of, "We have to be better," all point to a coach on borrowed time. The owners are watching. The front office is waiting. And if Stefanski doesn't make a change soon, someone else might make it for him. The math is simple. Dylan Gabriel has had his chance, and he's failed to deliver. The tape, the stats, and the record all tell the same story. Meanwhile, the Browns' defense, led by a once-in-a-generation player in Garrett, is wasting elite performances because the offense can't function. The fans are fed up. The media is calling for change. The pressure is unbearable. If the Browns come out of this bye week with Gabriel still as the starter and the same broken offense still on the field, then it's time to question whether Stefanski is making decisions for the good of the team or his own pride. Because at that point, it's not about evaluation or development. It's about ego. Coaches who refuse to adapt don't last long in the NFL. The next 2 weeks will define Kevin Stefanski's future in Cleveland. Either he uses the bye week to make real changes, including a quarterback switch, or he goes down with the ship. Sometimes leadership means admitting your plan failed and having the courage to pivot before it's too late. Right now, that's the crossroads Cleveland faces.